Qarun is a prominent figure in religious history, especially in the Quran. He was the cousin of Prophet Musa and lived among the children of Israel. Qarun began his life as an ordinary man, but by the grace of God, he became one of the wealthiest individuals, which led to his arrogance and pride. This story carries valuable lessons about wealth, humility, and faith. Qarun was born during a time of slavery and oppression, as the children of Israel suffered under Pharaoh's rule. He belonged to a tribe no different from others, and lived a simple life. However, God willed for him to attain greatness by opening the doors of provision and blessing him with abundant wealth. Over time, Qarun amassed immense wealth to the point where his treasures overflowed. It is said that the keys to his treasures were so heavy that even a group of strong men struggled to carry them, demonstrating the magnitude of his riches. With this wealth came a lifestyle of luxury and extravagance. He lived in palaces and surrounded himself with servants and slaves. Indeed, Qarun's treasures were so vast that even the keys to his troves were burdensome to carry. The power of wealth took hold of Qarun's heart and mind, leading him to boast about his possessions. He believed that his riches were the result of his own intelligence and skill, rather than a blessing from God. This mindset cultivated a sense of superiority over others, causing him to oppress and dominate his people. Qarun began to wrong his community by seizing their lands and resources, depriving them of their rights. He treated them with contempt, ignoring the counsel of wise individuals among them. Instead of listening to their advice, he would respond with arrogance, claiming, "I have been given this wealth because of my knowledge." Despite his tyranny, there were wise individuals among his people who advised him to be humble and moderate. They warned him against pride, saying, "Do not rejoice, for God does not love the boastful." They urged him to seek the hereafter while remembering his share in this world. They encouraged him to do good to others, just as God had done good to him. However, Qarun dismissed their advice, asserting that his wealth was due to his own intelligence. This pride clouded Qarun's judgment, causing him to forget the source of his blessings. He failed to realize that God had destroyed previous generations that were stronger and wealthier than he was. This type of arrogance is not uncommon. It occurs when a person becomes so absorbed in their blessings that they forget the one who grants them. Qarun exemplified this phenomenon, as his wealth and status blinded him to fundamental truths about life. One day, Qarun displayed his riches to his people, surrounded by luxury and adorned in fine clothes. This exhibition of wealth stirred envy in some of the crowd, who wished they could be like him. The wise among his people warned, "Woe to you! The reward of God is better for those who believe and do righteous deeds, and only the patient will receive it." However, the allure of wealth was too great for many, and they were captivated by Qarun's display. It was at this moment that divine intervention occurred to put an end to his tyranny. As temptation reached its peak, God's punishment descended. The Quran states, "So we caused the earth to swallow him and his house." In an instant, the ground opened up and consumed Qarun and his palace. He had no one to support him, and neither his wealth nor his status could save him. This punishment was not only for Qarun, but also served as a lesson for anyone who followed the path of corruption and tyranny. While Qarun boasted of his riches, God was watching his actions and brought about his punishment at the right moment. After Qarun's demise, people began to discuss the events in astonishment. Those who had envied his wealth realized that God grants provision to whom he wills and restricts it from whom he wills. They thanked God for saving them from Qarun's fate. This moment served as a moral lesson for everyone. They understood that wealth is not a measure of success, and that humility and reflection on God's blessings are essential. The story of Qarun highlights the importance of humility and recognizing the grace of God. It reminds us that wealth and status do not exempt one from divine punishment. Arrogance and pride can lead to destruction, while humility and faith lead to mercy and success in the hereafter. Therefore, every individual should always remember that God's blessings do not signify superiority over others. Rather, they are a test of how one behaves with them. Humility and kindness are the true paths to success, a lesson that we learn from the story of Qarun. The story of Qarun highlights the importance of humility and recognizing the grace of God. It reminds us that wealth and status do not exempt one from divine punishment. Arrogance and pride can lead to destruction, while humility and faith lead to mercy and success in the hereafter. Therefore, every individual should always remember that God's blessings do not signify superiority over others. Rather, they are a test of how one behaves with them. Humility and kindness are the true paths to success, a lesson that we learn from the story of Qarun.